Hey there, YouTube. How's it going? I hope everyone's doing well. Just a quick preface, not sure what order I'm going to record videos on, so I'm doing a little preface for all the ones I'm recording this weekend. Did not get punched in the face, rock climbing incident. I'm very clumsy. Also, I have allergies, so sorry if I'm breathing weird or making sniffly or whatever. But I wanted to record a video today about the whole depth year thing and about why 2019 for me is a breadth year, not a depth year. And 2020 I think will be a depth year, but I want to talk about why my response to this whole depth year trend was actually going the other direction. So when the depth year concept came up, there in the original blog post, the guy who came up with this idea, I think mentioned briefly, I think he called it width year, but mentioned that like there might be either, that depth is not necessarily the only direction. But most of what I've heard, with one exception, which I'll try to link below, most of what I've heard has been about depth years, which is great. And some of the reasons that people take depth years is wanting to dive in on one or more things a little deeper, wanting to save money or spend more consistently with what you're actually doing, like what hobbies you're actually pursuing, for example. And just generally wanting to like focus more, narrow more. I think that's awesome, and I am actually planning. I love advanced planning, so I started planning for my 2020 depth year in January 2019. For me, the breadth year is kind of in preparation. So I feel like in order for me to take a depth year, I need to actually figure out what the depth year is going to be about. Like I need to select things, and that I'm not quite there yet. I need some more exploration time this year to decide which hobbies are going to stick. And so I am trying some things on to see how committed I am, or just taking the time to like let myself feel comfortable letting go of certain things and deciding that they are not going to be the focus next year. I also think that a breadth year can be useful like in its own, like for its own good. So for example, with tarot decks and oracle decks, you can see some of them in the bookcase there. I'm not quite 2 years into tarot practice, and yeah, I've been totally deck collecting like a mad person. Not here to try to pretend I'm not, but it's really fun for me right now. And I come from a place of tremendous financial privilege, so I want to acknowledge that. I want to acknowledge that I have a lot of privilege to be able to say, I don't care that much about saving money this year. Like that doesn't need to be a focus. I know a lot of folks can't do that, so I want to like really acknowledge that before I continue. But for me, I actually I haven't always been in this place of financial privilege, and I am very much a saver, and I'm somebody who saves like way more than they need to. So I'll be like agonizing over a decision, and somebody will be like, that is a very small percentage of your income, why are you freaking out? You know, I still have a mentality of a different part of my life. And so for me, breadth year has actually been healing a little bit. I don't want to say that impulsively shopping is necessarily healing, but like giving myself permission to say tarot sparks joy for me. Tarot deck collecting sparks joy. I love tarot decks. I like getting cool bags. I like having this collection that I have here, and I am reading with lots of different decks consistently and swapping them out and stuff. So for me, it's actually kind of good to a limit. I mean, I don't have unlimited money, but like within, you know, a fairly reasonable-ish budget for discretionary spending, to be like, I'm going to spend a lot of that money on tarot decks, and I'm just going to get a lot of tarot decks, and this is not something I can do forever, but this year I'm going to do it. And I'm exploring different decks and learning what I like in decks still, and, you know, trying different decks. I'm finally getting to the point. When I first did Kamari, I was like, there's no way I'm going to Kamari my tarot. All of it sparks joy. Like, I can look at each one and say it sparks joy. I'm getting to the point where I'm a little bit past that. So there's a couple decks I have. I'm starting to say, I don't really. So one of them, if anybody's looking to trade, if anybody wants the Pastel Magic, for example. Pastel Magic, I haven't really used it, and I don't feel like I need to. I mean, it's a great deck. It's a diverse deck. If you like pip decks with diverse faces where there are faces, then let me know if you got something to trade. But that's an example of one where I'm like, no, I feel fine about letting this go. And so it may be that when I get to the depth here, I'm not going to have as a major goal getting rid of tarot decks, but I may have, you know, 5 or 6 that I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go. But for right now, I'm enjoying collecting them. And similarly, you know, I'm trying different things with my time and trying to figure out a good balance of my time and what hobbies fit and what don't fit, and what things do I value. So, you know, I'm spending more time socially with people, and I'm not necessarily digging into hobbies because I'm kind of letting them flit around. I'm kind of like embracing the ADHD right now, which is something that I have, and it does have me kind of hopping. And I do have a tendency to hobby hop or to project hop, where I'll do something, especially with fun things, where this will be my fun thing for a month, and then it'll be this. So it'll be The Sims 4 for a while, it'll be fan fiction for a while, it'll be some Netflix thing, Great British Bake Off or whatever, for a while. So I'm a little bit, I mean, admittedly, those habits are going to be something that'll be interesting to see. Can I really do a depth year? And I've seen a lot of people this year make it to about February or March and drop off. So I'm hoping that's me. I don't know. But I'm hoping also that this preparation of the breath year and trying some different things gets me to a good place for my depth year. If you'd like to hear more, let me know. I do have like a kind of, it's not exactly rules for a breath year, but I have kind of a list of things that I'm intending to do before 2020, before my depth year. And if you're curious about that, I would be happy to do another video. And if anyone else is doing a breath year, I'd be really curious what that means for you and how you're doing it.